Hi there.
How you doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Hasgrim Uploads. My name is Graham D, and I'm joined by the man that we call Baby. Don't know why my hard tune didn't work then, but we'll go for it anyway. Nice one. There we go. Nice. How you doing, babe?
Hello, Graham. Hello, chat. Hello, everybody else that's listening on the podcast services around the world.
Just gonna try that again. Baby. Nice. There we go. Nailed it. Fucking in your face. I can't remember his name. The T-Pain. That's it. In your face, T-Pain. Yeah. Anyway, we are live on twitch.tv/ice cream for this. This is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast. If we do say so ourselves, we are here is what I try to say then, to bring you the biggest, the best, the breaking stories from the world of video games. So strap yourselves in for the next about an hour or so as we run through those. The majority of this show will be based on last night's Developer Direct, though. So if you didn't see that, there was the Xbox Developer Direct. That is why I'm wearing a green hoodie. There was, yeah. Bibby definitely knew all about this. Ish. So yeah, we'll be going through all of the reveals from that. It wasn't a full showcase, so there's only a few reveals within that, but we'll go through all of those and any other stories that have broke, as well as wrapping up with a free Game Friday roundup. So if you've got G-Pain... Thank you, 12. Appreciate that. So if you've got hankering for some news, then make sure you get yourself strapped in. And if you are watching, make sure you do get involved as well, too, because we are live on twitch.tv/ice cream, where we go live each and every single weekday that's a Friday. Because it used to be every weekday, and now we only do a Friday. That's the point. We turned it into a weekly show. Anyway, so if you are in the chat, please do feel free to get involved, because the live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon. So please make sure you get involved in the stream. Before we jump into the news, a couple of things. Shout out to everyone that supported the stream on Wednesday, because we made an absolute killing, proper minted. Yeah, no, it's not that. Well, I mean, we probably made a couple of quid, to be fair, because we got shitloads of support in the stream. Wednesday was our 7-year partner anniversary on Twitch, and we got the largest hype train that we've ever had by like 2 clear levels. I think level 7 was the highest we'd had before. We were like 75% of the way through a level 9 hype train. Everyone just throwing down support for 7 years of being partners, so we appreciate that very much. We are absolutely definitely not putting any of that back into the channel, and 100% are getting wasted this weekend as a result. Cheers. Nice one. Let's go. No, yeah. So you might see that soon. We've just invested in a few bits. I was talking about it on Wednesday. We just got a new rotating turntable, plus some sort of tracking camera mount thing, and a new green screeny sort of stuff for video content. So you won't see it on stream, but you might see it more in the video content that we put out on YouTubes and TikToks and stuff like that. So nice. Okay, I'll read Bib.
Hi, Graham. Sorry, I'm just replying back to 12. Blank face.
It is, yeah.
He just messaged me saying, "Love it when you have a little chuckle on stream with your stupid fucking cartoon face."
It's such a ball of joy, like the warmth that he radiates throughout the world, like an infectious positivity. That's what we call him, Mr. Infectious Positivity. We definitely don't call him other words. that's
No,
definitely
never.
what we call him.
Never to his face.
Yeah,
Always got his back.
Yeah, you fucking right. Before the stream starts,
Xbox sucks.
nice one, ends up. Can't believe you'd say stuff like that.
I mean it, and it be true.
But whatever. I heard Bibby whispering that under his breath during the intro. Oh, was it? Yeah. Wasted nice beer. Can I come? What? We ain't wasted no beer. But it's BYOB, mate. Bring your own. Don't you have a pub? You can bring the beer. Yeah, nice one. Good morning, kids. I'm just breezing in. Well, you are just in time, because we're about to start talking about video games news, which kicked off last night with the Xbox Developer Direct. I'm going to try and get this set. Is it that one? I think it's that one. Okay, it might be full screen. It might not. We'll figure it out as we go. It worked. Yeah.
Yay.
Nice. Matt Wales at Eurogamer has the first story, which will have a few stories within it. So this is everything that was announced during the Xbox Developer Direct 2025. Sorry, I'm not going to do that last week. What was it we were talking about last week when I kept going 2? Don't remember. Ninja Gaiden 4 release dates.
Last week, Graham.
More. Yeah, a full week's been. Nope. It's already shaping up to be a massive year in gaming, and Microsoft has now offered a closer look at its 2025 lineup in its latest edition of its Xbox Developer Direct. Over the course of its hour-long runtime, the publisher shared deep dives, release date news, and even a couple of notable surprises for some of the titles coming this year, including the reveal of
Ninja Gaiden 4.
alongside a Ninja Gaiden 2 spruce up, a release date for Doom, The Dark Ages, and more. For a full rundown of everything featured in today's showcase, read on below.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
Ninja? Nice. Ninja.
No, we won't.
Ninja. I mean, I was reading it. Didn't say it was right. Ninja Gaiden 4. It's Gaiden in it as well, not Gaiden. That's the other thing as well. I found out the other week. Gaiden. So Ninja Gaiden 4 announced. I'm going to hit play on this, and yeah, it's muted. Nice. Lovely.
No, it's not for me. Jesus.
Oh, I'm only 6 seconds in. We've got Xbox Game Studios logos yet, so Bibby really doesn't like it. God damn.
It's triggering, Graham. It's triggering.
If you've been wondering what Bayonetta Studio Platinum Games has been up to recently, here's your answer. It's partnered with developer Team Ninja to create Ninja Gaiden 4, a new mainline entry into the classic action series. Ninja Gaiden 4 features a new Master Ninja protagonist, Yakumo, in a futuristic Tokyo that's been devastated by the Dark Dragon's reign of Dark Rot. Original series protagonist, and I'm going to assume this is Ryu, but because I'm Northern and was born in the 80s, it's Ryu. Original series protagonist Ryu Hayabusa is also said to play a, quote, pivotal role, and the two characters' paths will eventually cross as the story unfolds. It's not too far away either, releasing for Xbox Series XS, PC, PS5, and Game Pass in fall 2025. Are you a Ninja Gaiden player, babe?
I've only ever played one, and I'm sure it was on the 360, and I don't ever remember finishing it. But yeah, it seems like a hack and slashy-esque game. I mean, I'm doing it a complete injustice here, but if I haven't played enough of it, I've not played enough of it. I want to go off what I'm seeing now in terms of what this Ninja Gaiden 4 trailer looks like. But I think this is going to do quite well. It seems to be video games goes through peaks and troughs in terms of every game will look like a Elden Ring, Dark Souls type of game, and maybe try and copy that to change direction of maybe the original style game. And I feel like we're definitely in that era now where these hack and slash games are starting to come back in again. So yeah, I think Dynasty Warriors released last week, I think. Dynasty Warriors Origins. I played the demo of that. That game looks sensational and plays beautifully as well. I am going to pick that up at some point when I've got a little bit more time to get stuck into it. But I think this might actually do quite well. I think it's been a long time since we've actually had a Ninja Gaiden game, so I wait to see more of it. The trailer looks cool. Ninja Gaiden.
Nice. Yep. I mean, you've got my...
You can't get his front and back done for a tenner, can
he? Long-term listeners will get that reference. If not, we'll move on. Do you know what? Like, I've never played... I mean, I called it Ninja Gaiden, and it's Ninja Gaiden. I had no idea. I've not played a single game in the series. I don't know anything really about Team Ninja. So, like, when... Was it like Xbox acquired Team Ninja? Like, was it about 4 or 5 years ago or something like that? And everyone was excited about the future of what Xbox can bring. I assume this is what people have been talking about over the last 24 hours or so. Finally, Xbox are doing things. The things we've been waiting for are happening. So I was expecting like a lot of stuff. I naturally didn't. My brain didn't go towards Ninja Gaiden because I'm not a player of the series. Looking at this, the trailer, I'm thinking, it looks okay. It looks nice. It looks like a hack and slashy sort of game that's probably not for me. But as it went on, I actually thought this looks pretty cool. In a retro-y sort of way, though. Like, almost postmodern. Like, great, someone falls from the sky, lands on the floor. He's got, like, full samurai-esque regalia on. He's got swords, and there's lightning, and there's electric, and there's dark, and yeah, great. It just looked same of like stuff I'm not bothered about. But when you start seeing not so much this bit on the train, but from here beyond the wall running, I'm thinking this looks like the games that I used to play all the time on the PS2, but modern with that HD quality and long draw distances. And then obviously you've got like shitloads of characters running it that you're chopping literal bits off. Fucking boom, chopped in half. God damn. Then you got boss battles. I actually quite like the look of this. I don't genuinely though. I don't think I will play it. But it looks like one of those games that if I did, I think I'd enjoy this in the same sort of way that I enjoy a Streets of Rage. I mean, that's a bit different because I definitely love playing Streets of Rage and I would play Streets of Rage 5 right now. But it's not on paper what I would usually play as a modern gamer these days, and neither is this. But I reckon in the same way that Streets of Rage scratches an itch, I think this would as well. So yeah, not my kind of game, but it does actually look pretty cool. Okay, moving on from that. Ninja Gaiden, and they said Gaiden again, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black surprise releases. So, and that's not all the Ninja Gaiden news. Team Ninja has announced it's bringing a familiar favorite back with a new lick of paint. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, which first released on Xbox 360 in the halcyon days of 2008, is getting a significant revamp, courtesy of Unreal Engine 5. The studio is called Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the definitive edition of the classic hack and slasher, and it's out today on console, PC, and Game Pass.
I think this is the one that I did play because as you was talking about the last one, I've tried to find which one it was on the 360 that I played, and I actually think I've got it on my shelf behind me. Oh, it's in the box. The cover was very, very familiar, and I think this is the one that I played. Now seeing the trailer for it, yeah, it definitely is. 17-year-old Bibby running wild on this, but this I'm going to be honest, Graham. This actually looks better than the new one.
I wouldn't necessarily say that just yet. I mean, you could be right, but it looks better than it should do. Like is what my initial thought process is. We're in a world where remasters, and obviously I assume this is remake. Did they say remake? Oh, they just said significant revamp. So I would say it looks, assuming it's a remake in that sort of sense. Because it looks fucking amazing. Obviously, this is clearly Unreal Engine 5. They've found a way to port it properly without like your hexagonal shapes being turned into circles. This looks... So that's GTA reference in case you didn't get that. This looks class. When you see a game from the Xbox 360 that's been turned into a modern game, you still get your polygon players with square heads and slightly weird shaped fingers and so on. This looks like a modern game as you'd want it to. So GG's.
See the difference that I can see just by looking at the trailers for the fourth and the second one is the second resonates with me more because it has more of a hellish feel to it. It has more of a demon type thing, like you're in hell. And the other one looks a little bit more futuristic.
Yeah, I think
like more sci-fi.
There's definitely more variety in this one. So you've got like outside it, like the bit I was just seeing then, you were swinging through a jungle that looked like something you'd see on the new Indiana Jones. Same sort of quality lighting as well. Then there was like cherry blossom trees. Then there's like a fiery hellscape, snowscape. There's some beautiful sort of urban city environments and stuff as well. Whereas the other one just had like a cyberpunk-esque, dark, rainy neon lights, and it was the one vibe. This gives you, I assume, because everyone's seen the entire game, they've got more freedom to show more of it. Whereas Ninja Gaiden 4 only being announced, they're keeping like the cards close to the chest. So you understand it, but it's also kind of in that sense a bit negative because you've only got one like dimension of what Ninja Gaiden 4 has, whereas you've got multiple dimensions of what Ninja Gaiden 2 offers. So
yeah.
But it's good though. It's good in that sense for Ninja Gaiden 2 at least. Maybe not so much as for Ninja Gaiden 4. That a game that's a bajillion years old. What was that? 17 years old, 2008. So 17 years back, and it looks comparable to the game that's not even out yet. So yeah, good remaster. Excuse me, good remastering. I'm not normally bothered about remakes or remasters. The only one I'm bothered about was Dead Rising, but that's been out of stock at CD Keys. Other vendors are available. Nice. So, was Dead Rising not an Xboxy Game Passy jobby?
I don't think so. I don't think it came out on Xbox. I mean, at the end of that trailer, then shown that the Ninja Gaiden 2 remakes come out on Game Pass, so that's definitely one that I'm going to go back and revisit.
Yeah, right now.
Definitely
It's
have some of
available
that.
now.
Yeah,
So,
amazing.
Yeah, on
That's
Game
definitely one
Pass
I want to get
right
jump
now.
on.
Console, PC, and Game Pass right now, if you're interested. It does just say console, PC, and Game Pass, but what does console mean? Like, does it say at the end? Let me hit play. It was the Xbox Showcase, so I imagine it's just going to say Game Pass. Yeah. It might not be limited to this. Just to point out here, I don't know for exactly, but I know from working in video games that if a brand puts their game within the Xbox Showcase, it's not obviously going to advertise that it's on PlayStation at the end, on the end slates in the trailer. And the blurb underneath says console, PC, and Game Pass. But what console... They've put console there because I imagine at the time of writing they didn't have the information to confirm whether it was just Xbox Series X and S or that and PlayStation. I imagine it might be PlayStation because Ninja Gaiden 4 is PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S, so it might be on both. 12's just grammar Naziing in the chat. Nice for 12, cheers, mate. I will catch up with that. Mike, how you doing? 2025 looking strong for Microsoft finally, especially with Elder Scrolls 4 remake potentially on the books for this summer. I'm not sure about that, Like, has that... Like, how are the significant are the leaks on that? Because I know that
I've been seeing it everywhere.
Like, I know that Elder Scrolls has had like some big milestones. Is it coming, or is it just past its 10 years of Elder Scrolls or something like that? There was a big milestone coming. I don't know whether it's just gone or it's just about to hit. And I know that they're working on... It's 6, right? The next one, Elder Scrolls 6. I know they're working on that because they mentioned that in 2018. But then obviously the team were then put on to Starfield and so on. So like they've spoken openly about resources being used for Starfield and resources being used for Elder Scrolls 6, and that being 8 years in development. Surely there's got to be some sort of like, well, we've got to get a fucking move on this. But obviously then there's all the Starfield DLC and so on. So I'm just thinking like it could happen, and naturally it might not be the same team. They might have a bit off that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to be proved wrong because I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I feel like, where are they doing this? Where are they getting this from? Bethesda, they're a big brand. Naturally, they should be. They cost $11 billion to buy from Microsoft. But where are the teams that are working on this?
Well, there's been this Sky Oblivion project going on for 5 or 6 years, where they're just basically taking the Skyrim engine and then putting Oblivion into it and then converting it all. And that's been going on for ages. I've had so many playtests of that. I actually think that's either due to come out later this year or early next year.
Just to confirm, is this a Bethesda thing and not like a...
No, this is fan-made stuff.
Ah, yeah.
So the actual Oblivion stuff, it does seem weird to me, like you said, with all the other projects that they've going on, that they would go back and remake Oblivion rather than focusing on Elder Scrolls 6, which again, Skyrim has been out for over 10 years now. It is weird. I'm trying to think of an instance where they would have enough people to be able to work on everything that isn't a fan-made project.
I have seen some bits on Oblivion remake. I think we may have even covered it on a scoop, possibly. So I have seen bits, but the bit for me is just like, where does that come from? Like, if you announce Elder Scrolls 6 in... It might not be 2018, it might be 2019, it might be 2017. I'll just stick with 2018. So if you announced that 7 years ago, and we still don't have anything like an early look trailer, we just got like the first announced this is coming teaser. Like 7 years later, if we don't have that, what are you doing with your resources? Like, you clearly don't have infinite resources, not a bad thing, and you clearly aren't trying to make your team do too much at once and crunching them, not a bad thing. But I'd like, maybe that's it. Maybe they're close enough to get Elder Scrolls 6 now that they're thinking, okay, if we get Oblivion out now, then this is like when you gonna release Mafia, the new game, but we'll just release a remaster of the old one to get people playing it again, get it back on the agenda, and put it back out again. It's like a recap. So maybe could be. like I say, I'm not saying no. It's more just a case of I will believe it when I see it. Not that I don't think it will happen. It's just that Bethesda deals in big hits, and they've got a lot of big hits that they've been working on. So, and obviously they just released. I mean, they didn't develop it, but they've just released Indiana Jones as well, like end of last year. So they've had quite a bit on. If they can maintain that cadence, that's great news though for Xbox. Tito, I think it was, or was it? Oh no, it was Mike as well. 2025 looking strong from Microsoft finally. If Xbox can maintain that cadence of having Starfield, and they've got multiple bouts of Starfield DLC coming, and they've just had Indiana Jones, which was Game of the Year conversation for me, and then they drop an Oblivion, and then they drop an Elder Scrolls 6. We also know that, I mean, it's further down in this. There you go. You can see it. Spoilers. Doom: The Dark Ages. I mean, you can kind of guess. I'm wearing a Doom hoodie, and Doom: The Dark Ages as well. If they can keep that cadence, amazing. The only thing they can't do, though, if they do that, is what PlayStation have done. Hey, we've got all these games in a PS5. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, we're not going to really do anything for about 18 to 24 months. Okay. But I mean, PlayStation can do that because they're kind of in that position where they can. But PlayStation haven't really announced anything or done anything of major significance, not consistently. And they won't for a while. Everyone's kind of gearing up for there's rumors of like a PlayStation showcase or something within the next 4 to 6 weeks ish, and that's where people are looking for. They're calling it Phase 2 of the PS5, and if you imagine that you're 3 years into a 7 or 8 year console cycle and you've only had Phase 1, then you've either been complacent or dropped the ball. Is my opinion. Like, to have a bunch of releases early doors and then have nothing for 2 years. Oh, obviously it's not 2 years at this point, but it will be by the time we get something. Is madness. So yeah, if Xbox can keep that pace going and they don't have one of those periods where they just go, oh shit, everything just came out at once and we have nothing now for a couple of years. Then this could be the period where Xbox finally starts to have, what's the phrase that kind of funny always use? The dominoes are finally falling. That's what it is. They've got all the dominoes been lining them up for about 8 years now. If this is where they start falling, then that could be massive. Suppose they're being contracted out to Virtuous Games. Leaker has a strong track record, but no confirmation yet. Said we'll see stuff in March, April. Like I say, me saying I don't think it will happen is probably the wrong wording. It's not that I don't think it will happen. It's just that I think it's an ask for a developer that's got so much on its plate. But maybe that's just one of the things. They've just reordered priorities and gone, do you know what? We need this to make the next stuff hit properly. So it's very, yeah. Like I said, it could happen. Could happen, 100%. Next up, South of Midnight release date. So Compulsion Games' third-person action game South of Midnight, which unfolds in a folklorish version of the Deep South, returned in Microsoft's latest developer direct for a fresh showing. This time packing in giant alligators, chattering catfish, and a peek at some of the action players will experience in its darkly magical world. And if that takes your fancy, you don't have long to wait. South of Midnight now has a release date and is arriving on Xbox Series X and S and PC on the 8th of April. South of Midnight. Tickle your pickle? What are you saying?
I'm just watching the trailer for it now. What is that? Looks like a giant snake.
Oh, I think you might
come down.
I'm 40 seconds in, so you might be a bit in front of me.
Oh yeah, I'm a little bit more.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, Graham, I don't actually know what it is.
It's like The Sims or Fortnite. Redfall. No, it's not. It's Miles Morales. It's the same artwork as Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's what it is. Like, that's sort of like... What do you call it? What's that art style?
It's like a comic book type thing, isn't it? It's what they did with like the Tales from series, so like the Telltale series.
Tales from the Borderlands.
That's what it looks like.
That.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm still trying to figure out what type of game it is, because it looks a little bit like action adventure, then a little bit of platforming, and yeah. I don't know. I'd have to see more gameplay of it.
I think I remember seeing this, but not to this obviously level. because it was like a Louisiana sort of bayou kind of. Yeah, I remember seeing this in the Xbox showcase, and I thought it looked pretty cool, but at the same time didn't quite know. Artistically, it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's definitely my vibe. That definitely my vibe. Again, it all comes down to what the game type is. I can't work out from that trailer what it is, and it doesn't tell me in the copy what it is either. So yeah, I'm not too sure. But again, graphically and art style, definitely right up my street.
Trying to remember the name of a completely different game, but a PlayStation game. Kena or Kenna, depending on how you pronounce it, and the Bridge of Spirits. So Kena Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, that looks stunning.
Like, it's kind of like that in terms of, okay, the visuals have me hooked, but what does it do? But what is it? What am I playing? It looks incredible. The graphics on it, I assume almost all of this is cutscenes, but then you get gameplay segments put in like these. And it looks good. It looks really, yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be able to play this. 8th of April, south of midnight. I'm assuming not Game Pass because they haven't mentioned that. Because Game Pass as well. It does say there. It didn't say it in the thing here. Available now at pre-order, Game Pass as well. So, okay, that could be a good one to play. That looks. I think I'll give that one a go. April 8th, 2025. Hopefully, we get like a nice 10, 15-hour story. Bosh. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
It does think of like a 10, 15-hour type game.
Stop motion. There you go, Mike. That's the one. That's it. Solid Dog. How you doing, mate? I think this is the game I was really looking forward to based on the last appearance. Looks great. It does. It looks stunning. I remember it now. There was that and there was another one in that showcase. I can't remember what the other one was either. That looked great. This was one of them. And at that point in time, didn't really know what it was. And we didn't see that big sharky fishy thing, whatever it was. Realistically, we just saw a glimpse of it. The showcase actually gave me a bit of hope. Well, we're gonna rule it. Okay, my God, I was trying to say ruin it now, but I've ruined it for myself. God damn it! With the next game, I don't actually know what the next game is, so I might not ruin it. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 release date. I'm gonna stop for a second though before I read this. If a game is called Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I am already not interested. Like. I'm assuming Claire Obscure is like the character. Expedition 33 is the game. Like Harry Potter Goblet of Fire. That sort of thing. But, like, yeah, like what that have, like, word number, like, envelope 42, I'm thinking, like, what happened to the first 41? Why are we already starting here? It just sounds like, yeah. So I'm already kind of put off on that. So we'll see if this one is more for me. I'm going to hit play on it. It might not be my kind of game. Maybe I'm not the audience. We'll click play and find out. This turn-based RPG, I'm going to mute, is set in a fantasy version of the late 19th century Belle Epoque. France is... Oh, okay, yeah, I did butcher it. This turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of late 19th century Belle Epoque France is certainly striking. It promises what developer Sandfall Interactive is calling a reactive turn-based battle system, combining real-time offense and defense elements alongside a cinematic battle camera as players explore its beautiful, immersive world as the titular expedition unfolds. It's a quest that sees players embarking on a journey to stop the paintress who once a year paints a number on her monolith, causing everyone that age to fade away. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 unquestionably has a lot of character, and it'll be releasing on the 24th of April for Xbox Series X, S, PS5, PC, and Game Pass. Do you know what? Actually, it looks pretty nice. I'm not a turn-based RPG player, so it still isn't for me, but choose a better name.
Yeah, I am. Like, this looks great. It's been a long time since I played one, and again, I sound like a broken record at this point, but this is easily going to be 80 to 100 hour type game, and I do not have time for that in my life at this. It would take me years to complete this game. But yeah, it looks like my type of game. Like, I love games like this. turn-based RPGs, yes, please.
Why was there a turkey, a cooked Christmas turkey that just flew out of the water and flapped away? What was that about? But yeah, like, I like the visuals. I like the fact that there's lots of action and things like that. The bit that I'm not a fan of for a lot of turn-based RPGs is the big hits and numbers flying off things. You did 9,999 damage with this hit, and it's anything beyond the complexity of a Pokemon where you go, Pikachu did 42 damage. Like that, like when you've got tens of thousands and you've got 5 players being hit at once on the screen, I'm just like, this is like spreadsheet simulator for me. I am not here for a maths lesson, so I instantly get lost. But then again, massively successful genre, so I'm not the only one that thinks that, but a lot of other people think opposite. So if you're interested, there you go. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 on Game Pass as well. So if you are interested in trying it out, Sandfall Interactive giving it for free, air quotes. Air quotes. Let me hit a mute on that. Mixtape was the other one I loved. That was it. That was it.
I can't remember what Mixtape was.
Doom.
Up the ICU.
Doom. Have you seen the latest reel/TikTok? If you haven't, check it out, mate, because you feature in it. Like a glove. Wobbles, Hampout, and I've been playing a few RPGs lately. Started with For the King, which is a cutesy tabletop style RPG, but simplified. That's definitely not for me. I watched a little bit of it, and nope, not for me. But it's good that I've heard you guys talking about it. That and obviously seeing people play a few different games, like Wobbles with Kingdom Come Deliverance and things like that. It's nice to get that sort of mix in. Kingdom Come Deliverance is not my kind of game, which we've said before is kind of a shame because we know the dudes that play on that work on Kingdom Come Deliverance. So if we like that mega, I could be all over that stuff. Is it your kind of jam, Kingdom Come Deliverance?
Definitely mine. Yeah, absolutely. It's I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it feels like a weaker version of an Elder Scrolls game, but does the combat completely different. So it does have a lot of crossover. But if I was to choose either one of them, I'm going to be playing Elder Scrolls every single time. I think it's just a much better game. However, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 could have well improved on the first one. So yeah, the gap might be a little bit shorter.
Is there any sort of like co-opiness to it? So like obviously the game's coming out, Wobbles, we're gonna potentially be sorting him out with a copy of it as well as us. Is it anything that like could be co-op streamed, or is it very much a solo story kind of thing?
I've just googled it now and it said co-op is already confirmed for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But I don't ever remember seeing it available in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1. Again, I tend to play a lot of these games on my own anyway, so it's not a feature that I tend to look at. But maybe, I don't know how it would work unless it's just 2-player questing and stuff like that, which would be pretty cool.
Anything like RPG-ish like that, like an action RPG, like the Indiana Joneses or the Last of Us and things like that, then like put me in for that all day. I'll play that. Jobs are good, but your longer traditional, more traditional RPGs. What would you class Hogwarts as? I'd say it's still more of an action RPG than a traditional RPG. That's the closest I've got to an RPG within the last 10 years. So I reckon if for me to play an RPG, I'd need someone to play it with me. If I'm playing that stuff on my own, and the difficulty is you then don't have that person all the time. So you need to be able to do it on your own and with someone at the same time, with them being able to drop in and drop out and stuff. That's what I'd need to do some sort of long tail RPG.
I know I've asked this a few times, but obviously everyone's tastes change. But has any MMO ever piqued your attention?
Nope. I mean,
I'm not just talking about the World of Warcraft ones, because there's like fucking Lord of the Rings ones, which is just, I don't know why, it's just come back into, everyone started playing it again, and it's had quite a big bump. But look, I remember playing the Lord of the Rings one like 13 years ago, and it was kind of cool. But then obviously Elder Scrolls Online kind of changed my life. But
they haven't, but not that they haven't. It's just that how can I put it? they don't turn me off. They just haven't turned me on, is the way of putting it. So I'm not against the idea of an MMO. There just hasn't been one that has been there for me. So Warcraft, and similar sort of thing in terms of anything where you're casting damage and you're seeing numbers pop up, and you've got. I always make the joke of Bibby's there with his long bow and his long sword and his long shield and like that fantasy RPG stuff. That's where you lose me. I'm very much a boots on the ground modern day. I don't want spaceships and rocket laser beams, but I don't want pointy sticks with bows. I want like now. If someone gives me that MMO sort of vibe, that's the reason why. What was it called? The day before, day after? What day before?
The day before.
Day before. That's why that was appealing to me, because it was MMO elements of an RPG and an action RPG sort of world kind of thing, but it was modern day. It was The Last of Us. It was post-modern. It was tomorrow. Well, the day before. It was yesterday, not tomorrow, kind of thing. And that's the bit that I want from that experience. So if I'm playing an MMO and I'm playing it always online, shitloads of other players in it, I love that idea. It's the setting and vibe that it does. It always seems to be more successful at an MMO for fantasy players rather than modern day sort of stuff. And I think that's the reason why, because fantasy is not my setting.
Yeah, because obviously there was like DC Universe Online, which was for a period of time incredible. But I get where Tito's coming from, but he has literally just described the Division. So if I MMO is too repetitive, go here to speak to X, go to Y, and then go back to X. That is literally the Division. And that's one of his favourite franchises of all time. I understand he's obviously got a lot of leniency towards that because, again, it's one of his favourite franchises of all time. But he has literally just described it.
See, I don't mind that. I think like, you take the Division's name out of your goddamn mouth. It is that, though. It's the relevancy thing of if the setting doesn't float your boat, then going to speak to someone and going back. It's like, what did they say? It's like, it shouldn't be about the destination. It should be about the journey. But if you don't give a shit about the journey because you're wandering through this fantasy forest and stuff, and it just becomes about the destination, which is what makes it so like functional. Go and press that, do that, speak to him, get the thing to do the next thing. You're not enjoying what's going on around you, kind of stuff. And I'm probably the same with that. So something like a Division, which is you're running around cities and stuff with guns and it's more modern, is probably more like my sort of jam. So Mike says survival games and MMOs don't work with my attention span. I'm definitely getting more of that attention span as I get older. So my enjoyment, the stuff that I'm watching on Twitch at the moment, I keep talking about a guy called Mikey Larkin, but he's playing DayZ, but he's not playing DayZ. He's playing on Twitch, and DayZ is just his vessel. And that's the bit I kind of like about that, because he goes in, he spawns, and everyone's like playing their game. He's kind of like metagaming. And when I say that, I mean, I don't mean he's playing the meta. He's playing his version of a game within the game. And that is to just go in, interact with people, make content. His content is the storylines that he makes with the people that he comes across, rather than just trying to succeed in game. I watched him the other day when we were in the office go spend about 4 or 5 hours gathering shitloads of resources, swimming through icy oceans, fighting off frostbite, just about staying alive to build like an Iron Man suit, like a space suit within the game, which is like fucking top tier good shit. Got it, and then went, okay, I need to finish now, so I'm going to give you my suit, and can someone shoot me in the head, please, kind of thing. So he gave the suit to someone straight afterwards, because that would be someone's content then for the next 4 days. If I could stay alive with this suit, I could do all the things and we could continue. Whereas he's like, no, not bothered about the suit, because the suit is, I'm owned by the game rather than me making my own content. Love that idea. So that, if I can get something where I've got that freedom in an MMO or a survival game where I've got the ability to just have my own fun in it, and it's not a case of the only way you could survive is by mining this much ore, which you then definitely need to turn into something to give you credits, to buy food, to stay alive. That's chores. That's not what I'm after. So yeah, if I don't have to mine,
that feels like the exact opposite for me. Like I like games with a storyline that isn't necessarily the storyline that's being told via the game. I feel like that always pushes me in a much better direction, which is obviously why I enjoyed the Division so much, which is why I enjoy playing Elder Scrolls, because those games I can play at my own pace and hit milestones whenever I want to, essentially. So I could just literally just go around I remember on the Division 1, just running around for so long, just trying to collect the little radios that you get in each part of the city. There might be like 30 in a particular location. You're just going around and you're collecting them all. It doesn't progress the story in any way, shape, or form, but it's something else on your list to be able to tick off. Like, I am so much of a side quester than main quester. Is unbelievable. So games that I can play at my own pace, that I can dictate when I want to progress, always suits me better. And I always feel like MMOs just have that right balance, despite it being massive multiplayer online game where everything's ever moving so quickly. Being able to, just like a sports game, for instance, or a battle royale, you're playing at everybody else's pace. And sometimes I don't want that. Sometimes I just want to hop on, chill out, and go and do a load of collectible stuff. And I always feel like MMOs are definitely the best playground for that.
Jumping back into the chat. Hi. Kevlar, how you doing, mate? You take the visions name out of your mouth, but you might be slightly right, says Tito in brackets. Ironically, I think that's why I disliked Fallout 4 when I loved Fallout 3. Fallout 4 felt like it had a lot more busy work.
It's so much bigger. That's the difficulty in it. Like, everyone always wants bigger and better. Like, everyone's spent so much time in GTA 5 now. The map probably feels quite small because I've gone around it so many times. Like, how do you expand on that? Does it become too big and alienate people? It takes so long to get to the other island.
And
It's a difficult thing.
I think that's where that GTA project getting cancelled that we spoke about last week is a bit disappointing, because their idea is that you've got GTA 5 and GTA 4 sits alongside that, so you get on a plane and leave GTA 5 and go back to the island of New York, which esque sort of map, Liberty City as it's called in game. So you go back to that separate island, and it's a completely different thing that links together. I love that, because then it doesn't matter if you know your way around every step of New York. You could just go back to where's LA, where GTA is set. It's not actually LA. It's what's it called? Is it not San Andreas? Maybe it is. I don't know. Whatever, that place. So
Los Santos.
Is that it? I was thinking it wasn't Los Santos, but it might be. Excuse me. Might be overthinking it. We'll just go with Los Santos. So if you get bored of Los Santos because you know every single part of it, you can just jump on a plane and then go back to New York and learn every bit of that. Love that sort of vibe. And I suppose that's kind of how MMOs were going, weren't they? With their expansion packs and stuff. So you don't get rid of that. You build a bit on the side sort of stuff. So
yeah, I feel like that's what the ESO does so well. So like each expansion might add a new island. Like obviously the Greymore one I say not long ago, it's about like 3 years ago now. Which added the Skyrim map. So that's just another thing for you to be able to go and check out. And obviously I think it was set like 500 years before Skyrim. So not all of the stuff that you would expect to see might have been there. Oh, it's 500 years after. I can't remember. There was a big time gap between them, the actual game, and then what you visited in the MMO. So it was just another place. Things looked quite familiar, but wasn't exactly the same, which is great because you're having this very similar experience to what you would have had with the game. It's just a completely different set of people, completely different missions and things like that. So that's what I always feel MMOs do so well, and why I end up keep on going back to them. Like that they are, I think, probably one of my pick up and play games. And it sounds ridiculous because that shouldn't be the very definition of an MMO. But that's just how I like to play them. I'm moving at my own pace.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea of getting to know a world and that world being expanded and then me moving further into it. Just don't get that generally in a more modern environment. It is that fantasy sort of setup. So, yeah, rewinding it all back, MMO, the functions of an MMO definitely appeal to me. The environments just haven't been there to pull me in. Okay, catching up then so we can move on. Mikey is funny, he is. I need direction. If I'm not told what to do, I get bored. That's where I struggle with survival games. Yeah, I get that. That's the thing though, whereas I'd probably, like I say, have to metagame it. I'd have to make sure that my game doesn't revolve around being pro gamer and getting all the things and so on, unless I was doing something like a Pal World, where the idea for me there in Pal World would be, I want to build a big old fuck off base, not just a base, but like a base, and then upgrade it from wood to stone to steel to whatever, and add in all the functions and things. Because then you're base building, but I'd have to metagame it in that, and not be about survival. It'd be about building the best base, and it not be about survival in DayZ, but building funny relationships and content and so on. I'd have to metagame it like that to get me through that sort of stuff. Tarkov just touches on those elements enough, and the FPS part keeps me hooked. And that's the beauty of Tarkov, is you get the grind of the survival, and the reward of the survival, but with the risk of the shooter stuff on top of it. Candy raided him once and he was great. Mikey, yeah, I agree very much. Candy's also good at DayZ as well, if anybody wants to check that out. Best of Twitch is where the game is the background noise, 100%. Say managing to accomplish something versus just trying to stay alive. Sounds like a typical Finnish winter day. Hi, Lake Mate. I saw the Division 3 isn't likely to be out until 2027 at the absolute earliest, and it made me sad. Do we think they'll do a good job with it? Hopefully.
That's it, innit?
We'll probably stick a pin in that conversation because we talk about that for a while. We'll move on. Did you see that Sweatbag Team Tito is on? Did you see that Sweatbag Team Tito is on an FC? Which one? The Division 1 is epic. Made me fall back in love with games. I've caught Wobble streaming their games a few times. Bits wanted to set up a friendly a while back. Oh, you'd win. Easy. These guys, toilet. 100%. I saw rankings of Friends Tito and Big Hams Club as a top 2,000 club. We were top 500 last season. We didn't do the playoffs this month. I think we play well enough to be competitive, but we have players like me that are not on their level. Okay, we're moving forward past the football talk. It is Los Santos that's meant to be LA. Nice. We're on from 7 p.m. tonight if you fancy a friendly. Look at that. Honestly, self-promo. Can Tito, can you just time Tito out for self-promo, please, mate? Thanks. Okay, next story. We'll crack on then. Doom: The Dark Ages release date. Gonna hit play on this. It feels like it's been a while since we last heard from id Software and Doom: The Dark Ages, but it's back with plenty more to show. id is calling this newest entry in the goodbye. Have a great time. This newest entry in the legendary FPS series. It's quote most ambitious game yet, and it all unfolds in a quote cinematic sci-fi fantasy world end quote embroiled in a medieval war against hell. It's a prequel to Doom 2016, if you weren't already aware, and id says this means it's had the opportunity to quote reimagine every aspect of the Doom of the experience. Doom: The Dark Ages developer direct showing featured an extended look at its overhauled combat, which promises some of the most ridiculously powerful weapons id has ever created, plus a 30-story mech, fire-breathing dragon, and more. Better yet, Doom: The Dark Ages finally has a release date. It's launching for Xbox Series X, S, PS5, PC, and Game Pass on the 15th of May. This is definitely a baby game, isn't it, right?
I think this is the very definition, right? Like, I love Doom. Just Doom.
Need to skip it back a second. Is this a baby game? Well, here we've got a shield, we've got a sword, we've got fire and flames, and everything that comes with Doom. Yes, this is a baby game. And heavy rock music. This is a baby game.
This is it. I was about to say, yeah, like last year, I think on my Spotify Wrapped, I think the Doom 2016 album was probably one of my albums of the year. Like, it's so fucking good. And I genuinely can't wait to get stuck into this. Like, it ticks all of the boxes. Whether or not it's going to be incredible on launch, and we might have to wait a little bit for it to be patched up, for it to be as smooth as Doom should be, I don't know, but I have all the faith in Bethesda to pull this one right out of the bag. Like,
I am definitely going to play through
put it to work
wearing the Doomslayer helmet from start to finish. This is it. So this is the view you'll get all the way through the stream. Yeah. Ish. Maybe not.
But yeah, it has everything. So I genuinely can't wait to play this.
Does look good. I'm genuinely impressed with how id and Bethesda have turned Doom around. I think that's the last piece. Yeah, that is nice. Okay, with how id and Bethesda have turned Doom around, and I said Doom turn it around. I don't mean that as it was shit. I just mean it was a game that didn't really speak to me. I'm sat here in a Doom hoodie now with the Doomslayer helmet. God damn. But from 2016, so I played a chunk of 2016. We streamed it for an hour, and that was it. But it's always been one of those. But it was about 2 or 3 years after launch, so it's one of those that it's already on the pile. I'll come back to it when I do, and I never have. And then played a little bit of Doom Eternal, and every time I'm like, oh, I'm not playing any more Doom Eternal until I've gone back and played Doom 2016. But Doom 2016 is from 2016, which is 8 years away. So, like, is it even eight years? I can't do maths. What were we in 2025? 9 years away. So, like, yeah, do I really want to go back and play 9 years? But every time I see it, I think this looks fucking amazing. So, yeah, they turned it from a game that I never resonated with. Early Doom being this game that has the first online experience and gets the whole internet crazy about it. Just didn't fuss me. Until 2016, and then Eternal, and now the Dark Ages. And, yeah, it looks the shit. So, GG's mids.
Mm-hmm.
Lake says Doom 3. Does this Doom redo mean we might get a new Quake? Question.
I hope so. I do hope so. Like Quake was one of those. I think I've told this story a million times on here, but Quake was one of the dinner time IT room games. That and Unreal Tournament were the two. If you wanted a LAN party, get your buddies into the IT room on dinner and just fucking have it out.
Did you stream Quake? Or what was it? You streamed a shooter. Oh no, it might have been a Halo-ish thing. I remember
I've done a few. I've done Unreal Champions because they're a large comeback, didn't they?
That was it. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of people in the office at one point playing it on dinner times too. But yeah, I love those types of games. Those really fast shooters. Are they called Twitch shooters? Is that the definition? I don't know.
Oh, it used to be, but now there's a brand called Twitch. So, you know.
Yeah. You have to shoot like 40 yards in front of them because that's how fast the characters move around the map. But yeah, I love it. Absolutely love
it. Steve Treasure. Did you ever meet Steve Treasure?
I did. Yeah, he was probably only there for like 9 or 10 months.
So an ex-member of our team, Steve, was like top 50 in the world on Quake or Quake 2 or something back in the day. Top 50 in the world is fucking mental. And he absolutely 100%. You say something that even rhymed with Quake, and he's telling you that story. You got Milkshake. I was top 50 in the world at Quake. All right, nice one, Steve. Talking about Milkshake, but cheers, mate. So yes, anyway, that is everything from the Xbox Developer Direct. So we got Ninja Gaiden 4 announced, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black surprise releases, South of Midnight release date, Clair Obscure Expedition 33 and release date, and then Doom The Dark Ages once again with a release date. I think everything in that as well is on Game Pass. So an absolutely shit hot roundup. If you like Ninja Gaiden, both Ninja Gaiden games aren't for me, but both looked good to me, so that's a win. South of Midnight, like, didn't really know what it was, but it looked feckin' amazing as well. The art style phenomenal, and on Game Pass, so win for me. The only one that I'd probably say I'll put my hand on my heart and say I probably won't play was Clair Obscure Expedition 33, but despite me from the off having my reservations, it still looked very good for a turn-based RPG. So yeah, and then obviously Doom, great. So all in all, a very, very good direct out of nowhere, right, babe?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll move forward to the next story. Still sticking with Xbox, though. This one will only be a short one. Xbox adding support for larger external storage beyond current limit. Bigger than 16 terabytes? No problem. So external hard drives over 16 terabytes in size will soon be supported by Xbox consoles, Microsoft has announced. The addition of support for bigger external USB storage has been confirmed for Xbox insiders as part of a system software update rolling out now to public testers in the alpha skip-ahead ring. As ever, this new feature will slowly filter out to larger testing groups before it's widespread public release, typically over the next couple of weeks. Quotes, we are enabling support for external USB drives larger than 16 terabytes so you can be sure your favorite games are always always ready to play, Microsoft wrote in a blog post. Newly formatted drives that are larger than 16 terabyte will be formatted with multiple partitions to utilize all available space for games and apps. These will appear as multiple devices in the storage devices list. Intriguingly, Microsoft does not list the new upper limit for storage devices, suggesting that with the partition methodology in place, there is no upper limit anymore. How big a hard drive can you connect? Drives greater than 16 terabyte have already been formatted, will be unaffected by this change, and would need to be reformatted. I'll do that again. Drives greater than 16 terabytes that have already been formatted will be unaffected by this change and would need to be reformatted to take advantage of the updated support for larger drives, Microsoft concluded. Okay, that's just into their wrap up. So if you've got an Xbox and you want 75,000 games accessible at once, Xbox is adding support for larger external drives beyond 16 terabytes. You got 16 terabytes of space, Mr. Bibb?
I don't think I've got 16 terabytes of space combined in the house with all the electronics. Like, that is crazy numbers. Like, how is that your entire games collection just sat on a hard drive then?
I suppose that's like 4 Grand Theft Auto games.
One Call of Duty game.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting one. Like, who needs that kind of level of limit? But if it's easy to do, everybody wins, I suppose. I can't find the titles. There it is. There we go. Discussing now. Let me change it. Okay, you keep talking, babe, while I do this, because my brain's not working. There we go.
I mean, the actual peripheral itself looks nice. If that's what it looks like, very on brand for Xbox as well, with having the green neon light on the front of it.
For those that can't see it, there is an image of an Xbox Seagate external drive on the screen. It doesn't necessarily say that that's exactly what it is, but it could just be they've just grabbed that because it is a proprietary piece of hardware. Kevlar says, who is opting for HDD over SSD? Speed over storage capacity? Agree. Mike says, store an HDD, transfer to internal for another game. Bibby beat me to it with COD. Is this an actual problem? I think I have 2 terabytes and it's more than enough. Is this anticipating huge size games like GTA 6 and COD? Well, this is the question. Like, I have external drives in both of my PlayStations. I don't on my Xbox because I don't really play it that much, so I don't need it. But on my PlayStation, I've got external drives. And once you add the games that, like, depending on how you play games, you've got big games like your GTAs and your CODs. But then you'll get your Call of Duties and your Fortnite and maybe an EAFC if you're a football gamer. If you're a multiple football gamer, you'll stick an eFootball or something on it as well. And then you might have 1 or 2 story games that you're working on. So it's easy to go past your terabyte and get up to your 2 terabyte. That's no one's questioning that. But 16 terabytes, at that point, it's like, just manage what you're playing a little bit better. God damn. Like, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of dedicated gamers, but even then, 16 gigabytes is do you need more? Like you say, I mean, it's solving a problem that doesn't need to be solved, but if you can sort it, jobs are good. And I am very much in with Kevlar in terms of at that point of 16 terabytes of data, that's like giving me a house with too many cupboards. I'll forget where I put stuff, or I don't know what is in the cupboards, and I'll open up my 16 terabytes, and I'll be like, because it said it's gonna like separate into different drives. So let's say you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G drives on your external hard drive. Feck knows what's in my F drive because I only ever use A usually. F is where I'll just stick the other stuff that I never use, and if I'm never using it, why do I need it? Get the So yeah, it's good, but it's not for me. I guess for those who have very poor internet speeds, I suppose, yeah, maybe. I just like Microsoft to make the proprietary storage cards cheaper. Still way too expensive compared to the cost of standard SSDs. Haven't they made it so that other brands can make stuff now though, not just your Seagate proprietary ones? Wasn't that something we covered? So has that not had an impact on price? I'd love to store more, but now that I have fiber internet, I'm okay with just download. Yeah, internet, having that access to fiber changes things, definitely. So I was fiber up until about November, and then went like full mega ultra fiber or whatever the fucking call it gigabit internet game changer. I don't have to worry about shit like that anymore. Just download it. It'll be done in 3 minutes as opposed to 3 days. Are you really playing all those games at once? I play a lot of games, but if I'm really honest, I'm only playing PUBG or FC 90% of the time. Ish. I am and I aren't. Like, they're all there at once, but it depends on what your perception of at once is. So for some people, it could be what you play today or tomorrow. For me, at once is a 2 to 3 month period. Usually it's a 1 month period. Most of those games I'll play within a month. But quite often, it's usually just 2 games that I'm going in daily, but I will need to jump back to them for other things. Like, eFootball's more work stuff. FC's when I just fancy a little bit of a football itch being scratched. And the others, it depends. There's new stuff in Fortnite. Yeah, let's jump in and have a go. Bibby's playing Fortnite on stream. I'll jump in and have a play as well. Call of Duty updates. Yeah, go on. Let's have a bit of that as well. So it just depends. All of those, I am always playing, but also not playing at the same time, if you know what I mean.
It will tickle me though, because like with the Call of Duty stuff, you'll have it saved away you'll have 150 gigabytes saved away, ready for when you next play. But by the time you come to play it, they'll be having like another 50 gigabyte update, or it'll have to be reinstalled because they've put a load of new code in there or something. Like, do you remember the PS4? It had to like kind of delete itself to then reinstall the entire game for most games. Like the fucking stress of that. Oh.
You've got
Never again.
You've got a gig hard drive. Nice, great. That's wonderful. Okay, but your game is half a gig. Okay, well that's fine. I've still got 500 left or whatever. I'm talking about terabyte. Yeah, there you go. So, but we've still got 500 gigs spare. Job good. And it's like but you know, to install the 500, you need another 500 to download it to implement it into it, so we can then delete the original 500. So my entire hard drive is what you're saying. Then you fucks.
Yeah.
And sometimes I had to do that on the PS4. I had to delete Call of Duty to update Call of Duty once because I had so much stuff on there that I was doing for work stuff that I couldn't bin any of it. So I had to bin Call of Duty to get Call of Duty. Fuck. That was one of the best things from Mark Cherney's hardware deep dive for the PS5 before it launched, talking about like how the software will be able to download like incremental updates rather than having to download the full game again. Thank you, Mark. Forget everything else. Just give me that on the PS4. I mean, that's pretty much what we've got, right? We've got the PS4, but with incremental updates because everyone's still playing the same games on the same consoles. Nice! When I had 2.5 meg, I put everything on externals, and I own a lot of games. 2.5 meg's painful, that though. Oof. So mine was 70 meg, which is fast enough to do pretty much anything apart from be fast. If you know what fast is, then you know that's not fast kind of thing. But yeah, every time I open up COD, it's 100 plus gig update. Oh, 100%. 100%. What's the scoop? Don't know, mate. I always preferred Quake over Doom. Doom Brain, thanks, mate. Quake Brain is greater than Doom Brain. Or Doom Brain is great. Oh, yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're moving ahead. So Xbox users, if you want more storage, then you can now store up to 16 terabytes on your console, which is, no, not even up to, more than is what it was. So I made it sound big, and it's even bigger than that. Fuck. Okay, final story before we jump into Free Game Friday of episode 1 of the scoop today is this bad boy. Jordan Midler at VGC has the story. Pokemon TCG's Pokemon TCG Pocket's second expansion and trading features have release dates. Space Time Smackdown will accompany TCG Pocket's long-awaited trade feature. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's the name of the expansion. Okay, there we go. The Pokemon Company has confirmed the release date of the second full expansion for Pokemon trading card game Pocket. The Space Time Smackdown expansion will be released on January 30th and features 2 separate types of booster pack Pokemon. Booster pack featuring legendary Pokemon Dialga and Palkia. I always forget this one on the right, the pinky one, reminds me of Dragonzord. I've got that Pokemon and it's called Dragonzord on Pokemon Go. There you go. Fun story. The expansion will add a number of new cards and illustrations to Pokemon TCG Pocket, with some Pokemon appearing for the first time in the app, including Lucario, Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup. The game's much-awaited trade feature will be released the day before on January 29th, allowing players to trade their cards with others. In order to trade cards, players will need to make use of 2 new items, trade tokens and trade hourglasses. They can only trade cards with a rarity of 1 to 4 diamonds or 1 to 4 diamonds or 1 star, and trades have to be the same rarity. When the trading feature is released, it will initially be limited to certain cards from the Genetic, Apex, and Mythical Island sets. The Pokemon, nice. The Pokemon Company says it plans to increase the list of tradable cards in the future. Pokemon TCG Pocket was released in blah blah blah. It's made a lot of money. Nice. Okay, trading and new stuff. You've played some TCG.
Yeah,
this good?
Obsessed with it. Very good, because I have 7 cards to get out of both of the sets to complete the sets, and it doesn't matter how many bloody packs I open, I cannot seem to get them, and they all seem to be EX cards. So if I was to use the pack points, they're 500, and each pack that you open, you get 5 pack points. So you can see the difficulty here. So I obviously show Ravi and Nico were all in like a little WhatsApp with each other that we do actually use for Football Manager, but it's since been taken over by Pokemon. I think only Nico's completed both sets. Ravi, Show, and me are still like a few cards away. So we're hoping that between us, come Wednesday, we're able to trade out. Because I've got 9 Mews. I don't need that many, and Ravi has none. So there's definitely some swaps to be had anyway. And the rarities shouldn't matter as well, because the cards that we need are all around the Mew rarity. So yeah, I mean, I love this game. You don't necessarily have to battle it to have as much fun with it. Obviously, you can just use it as a card collecting thing. It will take a lot of time. And cards on the table, I've spent a grand total of 400. Ready? 400 PlayStation Store Play Store points, which have accrued like the PlayStation Star stuff.
Yeah,
it's like that, but with but on Android. So I think I've probably spent a grand total of about £2.
You absolute corporate sellout shill, honestly.
I know. Like, I put no other money in it, and I'm having the most fun. So I am actually battling online. I am actually battling against the CPU when a new set comes out, because you get new missions to go in and do to beat them to get hourglasses. There was talk about you having the Stardust as good. That was going to be the trade currency, but obviously, according to this and what I've seen on social media, you're actually going to get 2 different other types of currency now, which will have cooldowns, very much like your rarity pick, your daily pick, your chance picks.
So, yeah, looked like he was having an argument with an invisible dude to the side of him.
I'm having an argument with myself, Graham, split personality. But yeah, again, Sue, I can't wait till next Wednesday to get the trade feature coming in, and also the new FaceTime SmackDown. That's an awful name for the expansion. But
that's why I was like, I don't know what that means, and I had to read again to find out that's just the name of what they've called it. Like, it doesn't tie in or fit in with anything else. Like, you've got Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Space Time Smackdown. It's like fucking, my God, Palgia is broken in half. It's like, where the fuck did that even come from? But there you go. Yeah. Anyway,
Kevlar said it's pay to win, and do you know what? I'm going to disagree with that.
It's not. He was saying, shake my head at you paying to win with your £2.
Oh,
that's what he was saying.
Each way.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't say no. I spent £9.50 on PUBG last night to get the new pass, which is just a crafter pass, which is you are paying for credits to craft loot crates that you might not get anything out. That's basically the gist of what it is. It's not like you get crafter points and you exchange those for things in the crafter store, but anything that's worth it, you don't actually get enough points with the crafter pass. You have to put extra currency in, which anyone that thinks that that's acceptable is not. It's horrendous. It's toxic exploitation. Lulz. But yeah, £9.50. So screw your £2, mate. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Again, I can't wait to get stuck into it again. The group chat is never on fire unless a new drop's happening. Do you know what I mean? So I expect to see something decent coming out of this as well, and see how fast Nico can bloody clear it.
Says the man who's just admitted to paying for it. No, I admit to paying for the pass. So, like, I'll do that for the missions and the content. I probably wouldn't even do that if I wasn't streaming. Having some, like, underlying missions and stuff is a nice thing to have. But that's me knowing that I'm paying for that is my return on investment. If I get enough credits to buy some stuff from the store, like, if I cared, I would figure out how many credits I actually get for the pass and then figure out what I could exchange that for at the end. I've just written that shite off. It's crap. Nobody cares. It's useless wank. There's a cool emote in there. I was watching Roly Poly last week with a stereo over his shoulder dancing away. I was like, okay, I might get enough of that. If I do, jobs are good, and that's an extra. But for me, what I've paid for is a bunch of missions because there's no cosmetics in it. But I will not be putting any more money in it to make sure I get enough to get a chroma for a weapon that I don't have enough money for. So, bleh. Blah, blah, blah. I think games hold back on tradable items because they're always monetized and people use sites to buy the cards and then you meet in game for trading. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's why there's the tradable things. It's like even football games now. Like in Ultimate Team, you'd get it back in the day. Someone would pack Ronaldo and then they would sell Ronaldo on Facebook or eBay as it was back in the day. Marketplace didn't even exist at that point. So you'd buy Ronaldo in game by exchanging real money through eBay for someone, and then they would list that person and you buy them for that cheap ass price kind of thing. And then EA realized, oh, okay, so we're losing money because people are making money in the real world. And then you'd get like obviously your coin scammers that were like fucking what they call like digital cafe farm kind of stuff, farming coins to sell on to other people and so on. So they then stop that by introducing price ranges so that players can't be sold for less than a certain amount and can't be sold for more than another amount. So you can't just rinse currency out of one person or another. So it's a bit shit because I remember back in my day where you'd literally have someone stood there with a Game Boy, someone stood there with another Game Boy, and you'd have like your link cable between the two and you'd swap one for the other. It doesn't matter if I'm swapping you a Caterpie and you're giving me a fucking leveled 76 Charizard or whatever. We can swap whatever. We've made that decision. But people on the internet can't be trusted. So, yeah, it is what it is. God damn it. Space Time Smackdown sounds like a WWE crossover arcade game. It is. Pokemon/WWE. Bits in it! Bits in it, Candy!
Hi, hello there.
I was just talking about you earlier, mate. Horrendous things. I can't even believe the stuff that Bibby was saying, to be fair. I was going, do you know what? Candy's a nice person. I was watching her play Daisy the other day. Keep seeing her in Mikey Larkin's chat, and Bibby was like, do you know what? She's a and then
Ooh, piece of
I wouldn't even scream call that singing. And I was like, wow.
That sounds exactly like me, doesn't it?
Shocking.
That sounds exactly like me. Shocking.
Terrible behaviour. But there you go. Sorry, Candy. We'll just completely breeze past that because I don't want to focus on it anymore. We're not about that negative. Well, he is, clearly. PUBG is outrageous. World War Z updates with the new map, 3 guns. Oh, chat's popping away. God damn. I've lost it. There we go. 3 new guns, 5 new gun skins, 30 new weapon perks, 3 new maps, grand total of $5.30. The same day I advanced buy the advanced battle pass on PUBG for $38. I'm a big dummy. But like $38, it's shit in comparison to anything else, almost entirely across the video games industry. But if you enjoy it, it's not. It's up to you. It's up to you. But yeah, it's funny when you see. I keep talking about this. If people outside of PUBG's community played PUBG or cared about PUBG, PUBG would hit the news. It would hit the headlines because it's legitimately about 500 quid to get some of the skins. If you're incredibly lucky with the loot boxing pulls and so on, to buy all the passes and then grind for a month, you've still got to spend an extra 500 quid to get like all 4 skins or whatever it was. If you are incredibly lucky. But the reality is it could be 2, 3, 4, 5,000 pounds or whatever that you'd spend to get that all 4 weapons, do the step up stuff for the pan and whatever. And if that was 300 quid in Valorant, there'd be fires like in the streets because people would be kicking off and it'd make the headlines and stuff. But nobody notices PUBG because nobody cares, which is horrendous. Horrendous that nobody cares. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I keep wanting a journalist to pick it up just so that somebody can like slap a little bit of sense into the greed. Because like there's a journalist called Vicky Blake. She writes for Eurogamer and a few other places, and she used to play PUBG all the time. And if she was still playing PUBG now, she'd definitely be writing an article on that. But she doesn't play it anymore. So I was like, horrified. Anyway, this sounds realistic. It was. I heard it all. See, yeah, Mike. Thanks, mate. I That's what I heard. Okay, but what was actually said? Well, I'll tell you again. Bibby said, and okay, now we've done that already. I'll leave it there. It's more than the game cost when it was free to play. Exactly. I put out my response. I don't think they're going to like it. What about the PUBG stuff? You did? Nice. Because I'm not scared about. I mean, I'm not a partner anyway, so naturally I don't even have a partnership to lose, kind of thing. Fuckers. But as someone that has a video game podcast that tries to be honest and open about video games, I'd be stupid if I didn't tell people that I thought it was horrendous exploitation. So, one second. What do you think about it, babe?
Yes.
Good talk. Thank you, mate. I definitely wasn't turning around and grabbing something. Thank you, mate. Definitely left it. Great
I
support.
thought you were setting me up for something.
No, I turned around to grab something and I thought, Bibby's got a fill here. Nope.
I genuinely, because I can't see your screen, I didn't know if you was like fucking, I don't know, sticking a beard on me or something. I thought you were setting me up.
And if you get all that done, you get a lame ass lobby screen. Yeah, that's it. Great success. Slabruno Jr. Mr. Bruno Jr. Hi, how you doing? Welcome from Florida. I'm cold. You're not cold in Florida, right?
Come to Manchester, it is bloody freezing.
I posted it on Twitter if you'd like to read it. Has anybody got the link? Has anybody got Candy's link? Throw it in the chat if you can. That'd be very nice. I live on your chest, rent free. Well, thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Oh, you don't mean my actual chest. You mean the Doom hoodie. God damn it. They asked for comments. They got comments. So they should. It's genuinely horrendous. Like, and I will not hold back on that. This is like the first crafter pass, and I only bought it really because I like the dancey sort of shitty emote sort of stuff. But that is it in itself. Like, put cool emotes and stuff in. I'll buy that from the store, like I can on Call of Duty, like I can on Fortnite. So I've effectively paid for a month of missions to give me and the people that I play with some themes for the games. Oh, I need to kill 3 dudes in this one. All right, nice one. Oh, my weekly mission is to get 11 kills with a barrel. All right, nice one. Let me know if you see a barrel. And it just adds a bit of variety to the game. That's what I've paid for. And then if I get stuff on the crafter stuff afterwards, fair enough. But anything that they are trying to sell to me, like the multi-headed dog M249, the Cerberus skin, stuff like that, all that stuff is dead to me because of the exploitation. I make the pass be what I want it to be. And if I like it enough, I'll buy it. If I don't, I won't. We've got Candy's message here. Let me jump over. So Candy's tweet says, writing this felt a little harsh, but it's only because this game is truly amazing and console is in need of some serious attention / fixtures. Fixtures, nice. Here are my thoughts on console PUBG right now. Feel free to share yours with me. Sanhok console update feedback. Respectfully, the fact that the terrible screen flashing is still happening after this map has been out and featured twice now is actually wild to me. Fully agreed, by the way. I cannot believe it was released with these issues without this specific issue not hotfixed or anything. This should have absolutely been a priority before putting the map out for us. For anyone that doesn't play PUBG, basically, graphical, like, it's tearing is the technical term for it, but effectively, big old flashing on the screen, which in a digital world, everyone knows is a significant health risk, let alone shit for gameplay experiences. So we've had two patches since that, and they've just not bothered really addressing it. So yeah, great success. I don't think that we needed Sanhok featured again. It was just featured recently. This separates the queues again unnecessarily. There are so many bots in Sanhok lobbies currently because people are over how much we've been getting it in rotation anyway, so they back out or don't want to play this map at all. You have to see this happening. Featured maps are hurt for long periods of time. This didn't need a second feature for what was brought in my opinion. Agreed. I feel like featured map options should be similar to casual matches. Give them the option to play it as the featured map, but for a certain amount of games, maybe 5 games for testing purposes. Then they have to jump back into the regular map rotation with Sanhok already being in there. Good suggestion. Nice. Skin prices are absolutely insane for random items. We are given high amounts of G-Coin, and I still can't justify spending 5,000 G-Coin on a pan skin. That is 50 quid for one pan skin. If prices were more realistic, there would probably be more in-game sales. That fact, by the way, about probably more in-game sales was proven by Call of Duty. They when they ditched their loot crate system and went to a store system, they reported, and it was like an astronomical percentage increase. Bearing in mind they already churn mega money, their percentage on that mega increase was insane. They made so much more money within the first month, kind of thing, from having the ability to spend £10 and get £10 of item back rather than having to spend £10 on loot crates. So it's not as if they can't see evidence of that. I don't want to sound completely negative, but it really feels like anytime console is asked to give suggestions or feedback, it gets put on the back burner, and it's very disheartening. How long have we all been asking for simple lobby fixes? You can't even successfully tap to different sections or change your clothes without significant lag. Yep. These are things we've been screaming about for ages now, and nothing ever gets fixed. We all adore this game, want it to continue to thrive, but how can we fight to keep console alive when our feedback rarely gets taken into consideration?
Amen.
Yeah, agreed. Every single bit of it, agreed. The fact that the lobby is clunky, and I've been told a couple of times that the lobby's clunky because of my commitment to the game, effectively. They go, well, the reason the lobby's clunky is because you've played for a long time, so you've unlocked a lot of clothing items and things. All right, so my rewards for playing the game are a punishment, is what you're saying? So because I've got so many things in my customized item now, that's making my menu clunky because they have to kind of load it in the back. Maybe you probably need to work on your loading processes. God damn. So, yeah, horrendous. What's worse is the console lobby is not nearly as bad on PlayStation. Do you know what? I disagree there, Sesh. Unless it's changed. I have both PlayStation and Xbox, and when we went to do the Royal Rumble, naturally I play on PlayStation all the time. And the difference between loading on PlayStation and Xbox in lobby and everything, like once you're in game, there was no difference. But in the lobby, like it was significantly faster on Xbox. So, yeah, there's definitely variables in there. Maybe my Xbox account just didn't have as many skins. I did play for years on my Xbox before I came over to PlayStation. But maybe my Xbox account doesn't have as many skins as my PlayStation one. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But I know that whenever, like, if you watch me streaming, I was streaming on the weekend with Kamikaze and Gibbo and 12. And I could see from this screen up here, I had Kamikaze stream on, I could see what map I was loaded into on her stream before it had loaded in on my PlayStation. So I was like, all right, we're on Destin again. And I'm just sat staring at a screen and I'm chatting to Twitch going, that's because I could see on Cammy's stream, she's already loaded in on her Xbox, whereas me on my PlayStation, I'm still loading it up. So, and then 5 seconds later, pop, oh, we're in Destin. Nice. Where did we get to? I think that's it. Nice. I buy it for the schematics. I mean, that's fair enough. If that's what you're buying it for, if as long as you know, the thing for me is that's not what they're selling it for. For you to get the schematics or for anything like that I want to buy. That's not what they're selling it for. We're making our own reasoning to buy the things, which shows just how bad it is. Well, I'm going to pick up the pace, though, because I'm realising we're well overrunning for this, and we've still got another episode to go, so it's worse after the update for me. Also, peep that new Dr. Pepper flavour that's new in the right-hand corner. Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar. Nice. Yeah. I didn't even hit everything, but sometimes less is more. Yeah, exactly. You'll just give them more things to not pay attention to, or you'll distract them with options, and just fix this one first, and then we'll move on to the next one. Level 3 backpack, how you doing, mate? And you have to buy 3 other things before you get to spend £50 on the pans. Yeah, pain. Off to work, have a great stream. Thank you, Slab Bruno. Is it Slab Bruno Jr.? You've probably gone now, so we'll figure it out next time. But thank you, mate. Appreciate dropping the follow. I don't think they will like that, but I don't care. Can't ask for feedback and not be able to accept the bad bits. 100%. 100%. And we see that all the time. So some people might not know. Me and Bibi work in video games, and we do a lot of brand channel management. And some brands are really good with feedback, and some brands ask for feedback knowing full well that it's a good PR exercise, but aren't going to ask for it back. Not ours, by the way, but we are aware that sort of happens. Shit, Graham's out and all his clients. Fuck, goddamn. No, but we are very much aware that there are clients in the industry that will ask for feedback knowing that they're not going to action on it just because they want to be seen to be asking for feedback. So it does happen. Whether PUBG's doing that, I'm not saying. But, it does happen. What's worse is the console lobby is not leading. I've done that bit already. My PS account is a lot less than my Xbox account. Maybe that's it then. Maybe it's because your PlayStation and my Xbox doesn't have as much as our alts, so maybe that's why it's quicker. But either way, it should be better. Bibby! Is Bibby in the room with us? It's just a photo of Bibby. Yeah, that's why he didn't answer when I asked him that thing before.
Yeah, I'm a hologram, really. He just got me on record.
Oh, can someone type exclamation mark Bobby in the chat, please? I'll do it. I've got you. Exclamation mark Bobby. Oh, no, I've just typed one Bobby. That's not it. Feck off autocorrect. I meant to type Bibby, not Bobby. Sorry, I've got Sesh. I've got you, mate. We all do it. You're not the first. You won't be the last. You're doing great. Yeah,
you're doing great.
It's a hair. Okay.
It's a hair. No, that's just balls.
So, anyway, that was a big old tangent from Pokemon TCG's Pocket expansion. We'll talk about PUBG. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we are going to wrap things up here. So this is an episode that's good. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to jump straight back into another episode. If you're listening on the podcast services, we'll have another episode for you next week, but we are recording them back-to-back on Twitch. So if you're just talking about that, don't worry about it. That's what the plan is. Before we go anyway, though, I am going to jump over to our last quick story and give you an idea of what games you can play for free today. This is written by Lauren Morton, there we go, and Sarah Richter at PC Gamer. And as always, we tell you what you can get in your exclamation mark FF free game Friday. This week, January 23rd to 30th, is Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery. Let's get Asmongold out of the way.
Absolutely banger.
Yeah, we all wanted to get behind the frame and in front of the frame and around the frame and stuff. For all of the more art-inclined among us, Epic has Behind the Frame available for free this week. Following an artist working on finishing their masterpiece, Behind the Frame is a narrative adventure with beautiful art framing a story about the creative process. It's a wonderful and small-scope tale that should have a lot of meaning for anyone who has a creative side. There you go. If you've got an Epic Games account, get that redeemed. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. If you don't want to play it, that's fine. It'll sit there in your account until you do. Nice. Hi there. See, this is where I always screw up. Nom. I know that's what I said before. Just Nom. How you doing, mate? Welcome back. How you doing? Appreciate you being here. So yeah, that has been it. For a quick recap for anyone that may have just arrived, we've spoken about everything that was announced during the Xbox showcase, which included Ninja Gaiden 4, Ninja Gaiden 2, South of Midnight, Clair Obscura Expedition 33, and Doom the Dark Ages. We spoke about Xbox increasing its external support storage for external support sizing up to 16 terabytes. If you've got an external hard drive, you can have up to 16 terabytes now on an Xbox. Pokemon TCG Pocket's second expansion has some cool stuff in it. You can go back and check it in the video on the VOD stuffs. And what was it called? Behind the Frame, the Finest Scenery is now free on the Epic Games Store. And also PUBG, fuck goddamn, was a bit in there as well if you wanted that extra bit. But yeah. That's it. This is the end of the episode. If you have been watching on Twitch, stick around. If you're listening on demand, then we will speak to you next week because we will be back with another episode imminently or in a week, depending if you're on demand or not. But before any of that happens, Mr. Bibb, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Yes, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for today's episode of The Scoop. Do stick around, though. We will be recording next week's podcast in around 5 minutes or so because Bibby's been sat here for longer than an hour now, so he definitely needs to go for a wee.
I mean, I'm 6 hours away from meeting my nine. Don't pee off.
Raw dogging it. But yeah, thank you very much. There's no point giving us news stories for next week because we're going to be doing that today. But yeah, if you want us to talk about something that might be a piece of evergreen content in a couple of weeks or so, there is a channel in our Discord which is called The Scoop. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and opinions. We'll be then giving you our thoughts and opinions on the very next show, which will be at what date? In 2 weeks' time, Mr. Graham Day, which will be the 7th of January. At what time will we be going live on the 7th of February?
That was a curveball. You asked me the date and then you answered it. I was like, I don't know what I want. What do you want from me? 10 a.m.-ish?
Yeah. Around the 7th of February?
Yeah, somewhere like that. Nice. Great. So yeah, we'll be back live on the 7th of February for Scoopings. We'll still be live, obviously, in between then. If you are following on Twitch, make sure you get your notifications turned on. You will get notified when we go. Are you going live tonight, babe?
Yes, but I don't know what time because I'm going away on Monday, so I've got a shitload of packing and stuff that I need to get done. It will be after 8 o'clock, but I don't actually know what time or who with at this moment in time.
Where are you going?
I can't say that. I don't want to dox myself.
he's
I mean, I'm going to be staying at home all next week, Graham. The house is definitely not going to be vacated for a week.
Dodgy adults all day. That's where he's going. One of those like
Yeah, absolutely.
Club 18 to 69, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, that's enough of that. So yeah, stick around. We will see you next week, or in a few if you're on Twitch. But that's it. I hope you've had a good day. Until next time, stay frosty.